I'm Jennifer Erchul. I'm one of the co-owners of the Yellowstone 313 in the Union. We wanted to become part of the community, and it was valuable for not only the people that work here, but for our guests to have our neighbors become part of this and have local ranchers and local farmers have a place that they can have their product and we can celebrate them as well. When you have fresh food like that, there's nothing like it in town. And when we can say that the stuff in the kitchen is it's made from scratch. It's kind of a treat. The whole experience that you get when you order anything off the menu is, it kind of takes you back a little bit to a time when people would dine and break bread with people rather than just let's go in, let's get food, let's leave. I have a background in English and clinical psychology. It has nothing to do with business whatsoever. And when I started my first business, we were out for dinner with Rory and his boss at the time, and it was a children's shop that I opened up. And I said, I don't really know what I'm doing. And this gentleman said, that's okay, you don't have to. You just do it. You figure it out and you make it work. And that's what I've done for the last 17 years, and I've had a great time doing it. I've learned so much. I know so much about so many things now that I never would have known if I would have stuck with a traditional 9-to-5 job. And for me, the reward comes not only from owning the business and working the business, but being able to provide opportunities for all of the other people that get to be a part of this with us.
We had always thought and believed that this side of this Yellowstone hotel building was the perfect place to have a tap room. It was already set up, it had a bar in it, it had great windows, it has a tap system in there. There are things that we wanted to expand upon and that sort of thing, but basically the bones and everything were there to do this. Kind of turnkey, right? It would take a minimal amount of investment to do it. We didn't have to buy all the brewing equipment and that sort of stuff if we were going to brew beer. So it was going to be less expensive to get into. We could do it rather quickly and ramp up and then start the dream. In the middle of August, we had an opportunity, the three of us, Mike and Jennifer and I, had an opportunity to acquire all of this space, including the restaurant and the lounge, and this space right here, which was the original lobby of the Hotel Yellowstone, which wasn't being used for anything other than just storage. So it was dirty, and there are refrigerators in here and old couches and things like that, but nobody utilized this space for anything. So then we got the Yellowstone restaurant, dining room, and the lounge open, and that rocking and rolling while we did this to the whiskey bar, the whiskey room. It's a smaller room, so it isn't necessarily a bar because this is meant as a hotel lobby, not a bar. People can come in here and if they don't want to pay $168 for 2 ounces of Whistle Pig Boss Hog, which is what it is, they can get something for $6 to $8 to $10, which is still a high quality whiskey, but might not necessarily like whiskey enough to go and buy their own whiskey collection.
I've been brewing beer and making wine for almost 6 years now, and I love doing it. It's a great hobby, and really get a great appreciation for how many different beers and wines are out there. So with so many good beers and breweries in this region, and I look at this from Bend, Oregon, over to Jackson, Wyoming, south to Salt Lake, north up to Missoula, there's been a ton of great beers that I've had, and I'd like to bring a lot of those here for people to try. Well, in contrast to the restaurant and the whiskey bar, which are a little more upscale and formal, we want this tap room to be a more casual place where you can show up, wear your jeans and t-shirt and have a beer with your friends on a Friday afternoon after work. Worked as an engineer at ON Semiconductor for a few years. I quit that job about 3-4 years ago to become just self-employed full-time. My main business is a computer programming and consulting business, and I just liked doing this in my free time. So be careful with your hobbies.
Luckily for us in the partners, we love a challenge. So that's kind of why we do what we do, is not for any greater reason other than to say that we can do it. And so far we've been really successful at it, and we've served coming on to about 10,000 guests already within the last 4 months.